The Congo basin. A vast green ocean of trees stretching beyond the horizon, cloaked in shadows and secrets. To step inside is to enter another world, a place where life is both breathtakingly beautiful and brutally unforgiving. The morning mist rises from the forest floor like smoke from a hidden fire, twisting and vanishing into the canopy above. The air is thick with the cries of unseen creatures, each sound layered over the next, chirps, howls, screams, and whispers, until the forest itself feels alive, breathing, watching. For centuries, humans have wandered these trails, often unprepared for what lurks in the undergrowth. And here, survival is never guaranteed. The jungle does not forgive mistakes. Deep in this labyrinth, a lone traveler makes his way along a narrow path. His boots sink into damp soil, his breath loud in the silence between insect calls. Every step is shadowed by unseen eyes. He does not know it yet, but he is walking into the theater of predators. Because in the Congo, the line between hunter and hunted can change in an instant. High in the branches above, a family of colobus monkeys erupts in panic. Their shrill cries echo like alarm bells across the canopy. Something has disturbed them. Something is moving through the forest with stealth and power. The man freezes. His instincts scream, but curiosity drives him forward. The jungle grows quieter, unnervingly quiet, as if the trees themselves are holding their breath. Then the stillness breaks. A branch snaps, heavy breathing drifts from the shadows, and through the tangle of leaves, a pair of dark, intelligent eyes emerge. A gorilla, massive, towering, and unblinking, it steps into the clearing. Its chest heaves, nostrils flaring, fists clenched against the earth. For a moment, time itself seems to pause. The man's heart pounds in his ears as the beast lets out a guttural roar that shakes the ground beneath him. This is not a gentle guardian of the forest. This is a silverback in defense, a force of raw muscle and territorial fury. One wrong move, and the human trespasser will be nothing but broken bones on the jungle floor. The traveler slowly backs away, his eyes locked on the beast. But the gorilla does not retreat. With terrifying speed, it pounds the earth and charges forward, tearing through foliage like paper. The forest explodes into chaos. Birds scatter, branches crack, and the man stumbles back in terror. It stops just short of impact, its roar ripping through the forest like thunder. A warning, a declaration. The jungle has spoken, but this is only the beginning. For deeper inside the Congo, far deadlier predators are waiting, and not every human will be so lucky. The traveler's legs tremble, but he forces himself deeper into the forest, each step heavier than the last. The gorilla's roar still echoes in his ears, a brutal reminder of the razor-thin line between life and death here. But the Congo is relentless. It does not grant relief. It only replaces one terror with another. High in the canopy, the forest falls silent again. Silence in the jungle is never peace. It is a warning. Something or someone is watching. From the shadows, the watchers emerge. Not crocodiles, not leopards, yet. This time, it is a troop of gorillas. Enormous, muscular, and eerily human in their stillness. Their black eyes glimmer in the gloom as they move with a silence that defies their size. At first, the traveler feels awe. Here are the lords of the forest, the great apes that rule the Congo with wisdom and power. A silverback sits like a king beneath the trees, his body scarred with battles of the past, his presence enough to silence every bird around. Beside him, females cradle infants, their tiny fingers curling, their eyes reflecting innocence. For a heartbeat, it feels safe, almost peaceful. But peace in the Congo is fragile. The air suddenly changes. The king rises, pounding his chest with a thunderous rhythm that vibrates through the ground. His deep roar shakes the canopy, a declaration of dominance, a challenge to anything or anyone that dares approach. The traveler steps back, but his movement sparks chaos. The females scream, gathering the young. The males surge forward, their eyes burning with rage. The silverback lunges, ripping branches aside, his massive fists tearing into the earth. He charges again, closer this time, his teeth bared, his roar splitting the jungle in two. The man's voice catches in his throat, his body frozen by terror. He has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The forest feels smaller, suffocating, as if the trees themselves are pressing inward. Then a sound cuts through the chaos, low, guttural, and close. The gorillas stop. The jungle listens. From the darkness, a new presence slithers forward. Water drips, leaves shift, the air grows heavier. The ground beneath the traveler's boots feels softer, wetter. He realizes too late, he has wandered into the swamp's edge, and here, another predator waits. Just beyond the water's surface, two yellow eyes pierce the murk, unblinking, patient, deadly. The gorillas retreat, melting back into the shadows, their warning complete. For they know what the man does not. When the river goes silent, it belongs to the crocodile. The man breathes heavily, unaware that death has already locked its gaze upon him. The jungle has passed him from one executioner to the next. The swamp yawns wide before him, black water reflecting fragments of sky through cracks in the canopy. The traveler wipes sweat from his brow, his chest heaving. He thinks he has escaped the gorillas, but the forest has only delivered him into another nightmare. Ripples spread across the still surface. No wind, no stones, just movement. Something vast shifts beneath the water. He crouches, trying to steady himself, his eyes scanning the murk. Then he sees them, two golden discs glowing faintly above the surface. Unblinking, motionless, a crocodile. Not small, not young, but an ancient beast, thick with scales and battle scars as long as a small boat. The man stumbles back, but the mud grips his boots like shackles. He pulls free, splashing noisily. The water shudders, and in an instant, the calm is broken. The crocodile erupts upward, jaws gaping wide enough to crush bone in a single snap. Its tail lashes, sending waves crashing into the reeds. The man throws himself sideways, landing hard in the mud as teeth slam shut inches from his leg. The sound is deafening, a thunderclap of death. Panic fuels his limbs. He scrambles, his hands clawing at roots, but the swamp is a traitor. His body sinks deeper, mud pulling him under. Behind him, the water churns, bubbles rising, scales glinting as the monster circles. Crocodiles are not hunters of speed. They are hunters of patience. And this one has chosen its prey. The man drags himself toward a fallen log, his fingernails tearing against bark. He heaves upward, pulling his body free just as the beast lunges again, its jaws slamming into wood with bone-crushing force. Splinters fly, the log shudders, and the predator recoils only to vanish beneath the water again. The swamp grows quiet once more. Too quiet. He knows it is still there, waiting, watching. Every second stretches longer, his heartbeat loud in his skull. Then the surface breaks, violently. The crocodile launches upward, half its body clearing the water, jaws wide and unstoppable. The man throws himself onto the bank, rolling through roots and vines as the beast crashes down where he had stood a heartbeat earlier. The ground quakes from its weight, the stench of rot and blood filling the air. For a moment, predator and prey stare at one another. The man, trembling, clutching at vines for life. The crocodile, its jaws dripping, eyes glowing with cold hunger. And then, as if bored, it slips silently back into the swamp, disappearing as quickly as it came. The man gasps, choking on air, his body shaking with terror. He has survived, but the forest is not done. In the Congo, survival is only borrowed time, and something else has already caught his scent. From the darkness, a low growl rolls through the trees, not from the swamp, from the forest itself, the sound of spotted terror stalking closer. Night descends on the Congo, and with it, a new kind of fear. The swamp fades into shadow, and the trees loom taller, their tangled roots twisting like skeletal hands across the forest floor. The man staggers forward, clothes torn, body drenched in sweat and mud. He survived the crocodile, but now the night belongs to a predator far more elusive, far more merciless. A growl rumbles low through the dark. The sound is not loud, but it vibrates with lethal intent. He freezes, his eyes darting across the undergrowth. Nothing, only silence. And then movement, a flash of spots. Golden fur melts into shadow, black rosettes blending with branches. A leopard, the ghost of the forest. Unlike the gorilla's fury or the crocodile's brute force, this predator is a phantom, unseen until it is too late. The man's breath quickens. He remembers stories of leopards dragging men from camps, vanishing into trees with impossible strength. He dares not move, yet every second of stillness tightens the noose around him. Above him, leaves shift. His heart lurches. He looks up. Eyes. Two gleaming orbs stare down from a branch, unblinking, locked onto him. The leopard crouches, muscles coiled, tail flicking like a whip. It is ready to strike. He bolts. His legs crash through the undergrowth, tearing at vines and roots. Behind him, the leopard launches, a blur of fur and muscle. The forest explodes with noise, branches snapping, leaves scattering, his desperate cries blending with the predator's snarls. He stumbles, his body crashing to the earth, breath knocked from his lungs. He rolls onto his back just as the leopard lands, claws carving the soil beside him. Its jaws snap inches from his face, its hot breath smothering him. He shoves upward with all his strength, kicking, thrashing, screaming. Somehow his boot connects with its jaw. The beast recoils, growling, its eyes burning with rage. The man scrambles, clawing at vines, dragging himself toward a massive tree trunk. The leopard circles, tail lashing, its growl growing deeper, hungrier. It does not give up. Not in this jungle. Not ever. Then, salvation, if only for a moment. A distant sound cuts through the night, low, resonant like a drumbeat rolling across the forest. The ground trembles. The leopard stops, ears twitching, eyes narrowing. It backs into the shadows, vanishing as silently as it appeared. The man slumps against the tree, gasping, shaking, barely alive. He thinks he has escaped, but he has only been passed along to the next chapter of terror. Because that sound is not safety. It is the march of giants. The forest elephants are coming, and when they come, the earth itself bends to their will. The ground trembles. Leaves rain down from the canopy as the low thunder of footsteps rolls through the night. The man presses himself against the tree, his chest heaving, his body quaking with exhaustion. He has escaped gorillas, crocodiles, and a leopard. But now, the forest reveals its giants. Through the moonlight filtering between branches, shadows take form, massive silhouettes moving with unstoppable force. Forest elephants. Smaller than their savanna cousins, yet no less powerful and far more unpredictable. They move like ancient spirits, silent until they choose not to be. At first it feels like awe, their sheer size, their quiet grace, the slow rumble in their throats. It is a vision of nature's grandeur. A family moves together, trunks entwining, calves tucked safely beneath mother's legs. They pause at a clearing, their tusks glinting like pale blades. The man watches, frozen by the raw beauty of it. But beauty in the Congo is a mask that hides the beast beneath. The matriarch lifts her head. Her ears flare wide. She smells him. A stranger. An intruder. Her trunk rises, curling through the air, pulling his scent from the night. And then she screams. A piercing trumpet that tears through the forest like a battle horn. The others respond, their cries echoing, their bodies shifting from calm to fury in an instant. The ground shakes as the matriarch charges. Trees snap like twigs beneath her weight. The man stumbles backward, his legs tangled in roots, his heart hammering. He throws himself behind a fallen trunk as the giant crashes past, her tusks gouging the earth where he had stood. She turns, enraged, her eyes wild, her trunk lashing against trees, stripping bark with violent swipes. Another bull trumpets, joining the frenzy, his massive tusks ripping branches down as if the forest itself were nothing. The herd erupts into chaos. Calves squeal, mothers scream, and the night becomes a storm of destruction. The man crawls, desperate, slipping between roots and vines. A tusk slices the earth inches from his body, showering him with dirt. He scrambles, lungs burning, until he finds a narrow hollow between trees and squeezes inside, his body pressed flat. The elephants rage around him, shaking the forest with every charge. Minutes stretch like hours. Finally, the herd begins to move, their fury shifting back to restless pacing. Slowly, they fade into the night, their cries lingering like ghosts. The forest falls silent once more. The man emerges, trembling, his body battered, his mind frayed. He has witnessed the power of giants. He has survived their wrath, but he cannot escape the Congo's truth. Here, survival is never a gift. It is only borrowed time. Because even as the elephants vanish, another force lurks in the darkness. Not predator, not prey. Something closer to him, something far more dangerous. The destruction of man himself. Dawn breaks over the Congo. The forest, battered from the night's violence, glows in shafts of golden light cutting through the mist. Birds cry, insects hum, and life resumes its endless chorus. But for the traveler, the song of the jungle has turned into a dirge. He has survived gorillas, crocodiles, leopards, and the fury of elephants. Yet the greatest danger still lies ahead. He stumbles into a clearing, his body weak, his clothes torn. For the first time, he sees it. Evidence of man's hand. Trees felled in jagged rows, smoke curling from blackened earth. The forest floor scarred by machines that bite deeper than any predator. It is not a beast that greets him now. It is destruction. Where once stood giants of wood and life, there is emptiness. The cries of monkeys fade into silence, their homes reduced to ash. The rivers run brown with mud, their banks collapsing into chaos. The traveler drops to his knees, staring at the ruin. For hours he has fought to survive nature's hunters. But here he sees what the real predator looks like. Man. Chainsaws scream in the distance. The echo of metal on wood carries like the roar of a wounded animal. He sees workers moving, their axes swinging, their trucks dragging fallen trees like corpses through the mud. Every cut, every crash is another heartbeat of the forest stolen away. And then, a sound unlike any before, a rumble, deep and rolling. Not an elephant, not thunder. It is the forest itself, collapsing. With a groan that shakes the ground, a giant tree, centuries old, crashes down, shattering the earth, flattening everything beneath it. The traveler covers his ears, but he cannot block out the truth. The forest that nearly killed him in 100 ways is being killed in one. Slowly, methodically, relentlessly. He rises, his body broken but his spirit burning. He looks back into the shadows where the gorillas watched him, where the crocodile hunted, where the leopard stalked, where elephants raged. Those creatures had spared him, but humanity spares nothing. The Congo is bleeding. Its guardians, beast and tree alike, are pushed to the edge. And one day the forest will answer back, because nature does not forget. It does not forgive. When the last tree falls, when the rivers dry, when the animals vanish, man will face the same terror he once inflicted. The hunter will become the hunted, and the final roar of the Congo will not be a warning. It will be vengeance. The traveler looks to the horizon, where smoke swallows the sun. His journey is over, but the story of the forest is not. The jungle waits, watching, breathing, waiting for the day when it will strike back.